If I told you that a decorated general was speaking up and speaking out against the draft-dodging Donald Trump's current dereliction of military duty, would you stand at attention? Coming up next, I have his very damning words and much more. I'm Dan and welcome to another Occupy Democrats video. To get all of our reports on all of Trump's lawless lunacy, please hit that subscribe button. Let's begin with clip 1 featuring retired Lieutenant General Mark Hertling. Watch as he spells out the lesson learned from past mistakes, Trump's underestimation of the task ahead, and the shock by Rubio and Hegseth over one of the comments made by the Commander-in-Chief of Chaos. Consider this DEFCON 2 and be sure and stick around for his DEFCON 1 comment.
You wrote, when the United States treats regime change as a discrete military option rather than a whole of government generational commitment, it repeats mistakes we have made very recently and ignores lessons we have paid dearly in blood, treasure, and reputation to learn. Tell us more about what you mean.
One of the lessons I learned, Jen, and I wrote down a bunch of lessons after multiple tours in Iraq. One of the lessons that you can't import legitimacy. Let's put it that way. Governments derive legitimacy from their own people through trust. So what's the plan for bringing in control of the population, of reestablishing the economy, of giving people some kind of trust to put their faith in? And it seemed during the press conference, especially when the president was asked, what's your plan for the next step? And he turned around and said, well, these people behind me are the ones that are going to run it. And you could tell by the look on both Secretary Rubio and Hegseth's face that they had not heard that before.
And now for the general's more recent DEFCON 1 comment. As I lose my voice, he uses his to relate Trump's actions to his battle-scarred experience in the Middle East while sounding a major alarm.
It appeared during that press conference that this was sort of being made up as they went along. And it takes a really tough coalition of key people to do the kind of things he thinks are going to happen in Venezuela next.
So, General, you used the word difficult, challenging. Would you add dangerous to that description?
Yeah, I most certainly would. And truthfully, it brought back a whole lot of scar tissue for me, having been in Iraq a couple of times, especially my last tour there was in an area that had the Beji oil refineries and some of the Kurdish oil fields. We tried to bring in oil companies to help the Iraqis figure out how to work their oil facilities better than they had been. And it was difficult because of security issues. And I kind of really, the hairs on my neck stood up when the president said, oh, we don't have to worry about boots on the ground. We can do that. And that was probably something new to the audience today, too. They probably weren't expecting the fact that we might have military forces in Venezuela. And in these kind of situations, in a country that's as big as Venezuela, with a 30 million citizen population, and with a security force between the army and the police forces measures about 300,000 in Venezuela. Yeah, this could be very tough, and there could be opportunities for some of the old officials in this regime starting an insurgency, doing things that are unexpected, even when the Americans come in to try and help fix their oil fields. I'm not sure they're going to open their welcoming arms to all those people that might be coming in from the various oil companies.
Please bear with me as I wrap this up. I've provided my thoughts about the Venezuelan takeover in other videos, so this time I'll give the final word to another vet. Watch as Representative and combat veteran Jason Crow explains the uncomfortable truth to the flag-waving, invasion-loving hawks and Trumpers.
Well, the whole day, all I can think about, Caitlin, is the 20 years, trillions of dollars, thousands of American lives that we spent in Iraq and Afghanistan without votes, without accountability, without Congress putting an end to it, trying to nation build. And here we are once again, toppling a foreign regime, in control, trying to run a foreign country for its oil. I cannot begin to describe for you how deeply unpopular this entire thing is with the American people, who are struggling to pay their rent, who can't pay for their health care, who are struggling to pay for groceries. And here's Donald Trump, who promised to fix all of that, engaged in the very thing that we just spent 20 years failing to do in other countries around the world. Yeah, I'm a 3-time combat veteran, and when I hear a 5-time draft dodger like Donald Trump say that he has no problem putting boots on the ground in Venezuela, I get a little hot. Excuse me, but I learned a long time ago that when elites and other people in Washington bang the war drums and talk tough, it's young kids like me from rural towns, people across the country, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters that had to pick up guns and get into helicopters and do the tough work. So my job is to make sure they are not being put in tough situations yet again.